What's up, fight fans? Mike from BuddhaSport.com. There it is right there. Best MMA website out. I'm going to do a quick little video blog about tonight's UFC live on Versus. All the prelim fights are going to be on Facebook, so make sure everybody checks that out. What a great night of fight. Props to Zuffa for putting such a good card on for free. I'm excited about a lot of these fights, even the prelims. All very evenly matched. Maybe not the star power or whatever, but who cares about that? But it's fights that people are just gonna love. This is gonna be a fantastic night of fights. And here are my picks. You guys should definitely take my pick seriously because I pick better than anybody in the business. You could check it out on my site, BuddhaSport.com. Ariel Hawani actually does a little thing with us every month where he sends his picks in and we do something with all the writers, and I pick. Me and him are close, but I pick at a little bit, maybe a win or two here, win or two there with him. So I think I'm the best, and I think if anybody's betting, you should definitely take my picks into consideration. So here we go. I'm not going to really get into details about the prelims because I don't have that much time, but I'm just going to tell you the winners, okay? Edwin Figueroa against Jason Reinhardt. Figueroa is going to win that fight. Danny Castilla against Jacob Volkman. This is one of those fights that is just awesome. Great job by Zuffa. Castillo, I like in this fight. Cole Miller versus TJ O'Brien. I think Cole Miller's going to get back on a winning track. Alex Caceres against Jim Hedis. I don't know much about Hedis, but I don't consider Bruce Leroy a real fighter at all, to be honest with you. And I would take anybody that he's fight. I would take the opponent against anybody that anytime he fights. So I'm going to go with Hedis there. Another great fight, Ronnie Marquez against Carlos Vamola. I like Vamola in this fight. This is another fantastic fight. Ed Herman against Kyle Noak. I like Ed Herman. He took the fight on short notice. He just knocked out Tim Kruger, real tough guy. Noak's another tough guy. I hope Herman wins this fight, and I think he's gonna. I like Ed Herman, so props to him. This is one of the best fights on the whole card. I don't know how this is not on the main card. Joseph Benavidez against Eddie Wineland. I think I like Eddie Wineland here. I could be biased. That's my boy. So shout out to Eddie. I just think this is a bad matchup for Joseph. I think Eddie's too big and strong. We saw how Eddie was more powerful than Uriah, picking him up and slamming him around, and how Uriah had a lot of trouble wrestling him. So I think this could. Although Benavidez is a fantastic fighter, in my rankings I have him ranked as the number four bantamweight, and I think he's an awesome fighter. I think this is a bad matchup for him. I really do, and we all know fighting is about matchups. You could. It doesn't matter who's better than who, whatever. But if his strength is your weakness, it's a bad matchup. And I think that Benavidez is a small guy, and Wineland is a powerful guy, a powerful wrestler. So I think that's going to be the story in this fight. I think Eddie's worked on his wrestling even more. I know he takes his strength and conditioning very, very seriously. I've talked to Eddie a few times, so yeah, that's just my opinion there. So good luck to Eddie Wineland. That's my upset of the night right there. And with that being said, I'm going to move on to the next fight. CB Dalloway against Jared Hammond. Hammond's had some great scraps at light heavyweight. Rodney Wallace, that was a tough fight. He looked good. He looked real good at 205. He was in some great scraps. He won a fight of the night a couple of times, I think twice. This is his first fight at middleweight. Now, the guy he's fighting, I'm not a huge fan of Dalloway, but he's shown flashes that he can be not an elite fighter, because he'll never be that, but he showed flashes that he could be in the UFC for the long haul, be right outside like that top 15 range, top 20 in the world, maybe top 20, something like that. Maybe top 15 in the UFC, but never, and he's never going to get a title shot or nothing like that. But he's shown flashes that he can be a good fighter. He's also shown flashes that he can be not that good. So, you don't know what to expect from him. Also, too, you don't know how the weight cut went for Hammond. So, I mean, this fight's kind of up in the air, but I'm gonna play it safe. I would take Dalloway here. just for playing safe. But don't be shocked if Hammond does win the fight. Now the main card. Now we're going to go to the versus main card. First fight, Dwayne Ludwig against Amir Sadallah. Amir Sadallah is one of those guys the UFC tries to force down our throat. This fight, actually, there's 3 or 4 fights on the prelims that are better than this fight. So, but they try to force Sadallah down your throat because he won tough and all that. He'll beat Dwayne Ludwig tonight. I mean, not really much to say. Ludwig, is a decent fighter. Sadallah is a pretty good fighter. Amir's probably better in all aspects, really. Technical striking. His Muay Thai looked good in his last couple of fights. His jiu-jitsu's good. So I look for Sadallah to win this fight pretty handily. Probably get a finish, maybe in the second round, early third. The next fight I think is going to be the fight of the night, actually. Donald Cerrone against Charles Oliveira. Now, I'm rooting for Cerrone here. I'm a big Cowboy fan as it is. So props to Donald Cerrone. He's one of my favorite. He was one of my favorite WEC fighters. He's one of my favorite lightweights, He always puts on a good show, always looking, for a good performance. His stand-up looked outstanding in his last fight. His legs kicks were devastating. I'm rooting for Donald here. I talked to him on Twitter when I told him I predicted him to win a decision. He told me that he said he's going for the finish, and actually then he said if he won the fight he would come do an interview with me. So that's cool. So I'm rooting for Cerrone, big time there. Oliveira's a young up and comer, real tough kid. A lot of people out there on the internet are picking Oliveira. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking for Cerrone to pull the upset. I guess that would be an upset in most of your eyes, not in mine. I think he's a better fighter. I think anywhere the fight goes, Cerrone's against anybody in the world, Cerrone's fine. He could stand up, and scrap with anybody, or he can go on the ground. His jiu-jitsu is very, very good. So, I mean, with that being said, I mean, I'm not saying he'll beat anybody, but he'll be comfortable. He's world class enough standing and on the ground that he'll be fine anywhere the fight goes. That's why I'm picking him in this fight. I think the fight's gonna stay up standing, and Cerrone's gonna pick him apart. Now I don't know if Oliveira's gonna leave himself open enough for Cerrone to get a finish. He definitely can, but I was just thinking Oliveira would get picked apart on the feet. That's what I was thinking, but. I mean, either way, again, this, great job by Zuffa. The fights are all toss-ups, you know what I mean? So I'm going with Cerrone there. This is the fight I'm also looking forward. One of the fights I'm looking forward to the most. Ben Henderson against Jim Miller. I live 5 minutes away from Jimmy Miller Trains. One of my favorites. Really good guy. He's one win away from getting a title shot. So, I mean, I could be biased here. So my biased opinion is Jim Miller, but my heart tells me this is a good matchup for Ben Henderson. He matches up real well with Jim Miller. He does. So this is going to be a fantastic fight. Henderson, I don't see him knocking Miller out or submitting him. I could see Jimmy getting a submission, but I'm expecting this to go to a decision just because both guys are so well rounded and their conditioning is both really well conditioned athletes. I don't look for anybody to gas and get a finish late or anything like that. I just look for these guys to go 100 miles an hour from the first round to the third round. Action-packed fight, balls to the wall. Great. This is going to be a great fight. Great fight. This or the Cerrone fight is going to be fight of the night. I'm thinking the Cerrone one will be, but I'm picking Miller in this one. The main event, Hardy and Lytle. I mean, could be a stand-up war. A lot of people complain all the time about the fights that aren't stand-up wars, so this is for the fans that like that are always complaining about the fights and everything. You're going to get to see a stand-up war here. This fight could also go either way. Tough to predict because Lytle kind of looked like he was on his way out in his last fight against Ebersol. He looked like he was kind of going downhill. I don't know what's up with Hardy. He showed up overweight. He missed weight. Now that concerns me because Hardy's never had a problem with weight before, and this is such a big fight that I didn't think that he would miss weight. I mean, he eventually made it the second go round, so he's not going to be fined any of his purse or anything like that. But was there an injury that we don't know about? Is something going on? I mean, I don't know. Because this is his UFC career. If he loses this fight, you will not see Dan Hardy in the. He's going to have to win 3 or 4 outside of the UFC before he gets back in. If he loses this fight, this will be 4 losses in a row. Most guys are cut after 3. Hardy will be cut after the 4th in a row. You can bet your bottom dollar. So this fight's everything to him, and he shows up overweight. So that's a little funny to me. So I don't really want to pick him. But I'm going to, just because I think Chris Lytle, I think he announced it, his retirement after is going to be his last fight, and he didn't look good against Eversole. So I think this with Chris Lytle is going to be a little different. I don't think this is your class. Chris Lytle from, if I never saw the Eversole fight, I'd pick him all day in this fight. But just based on that, I'm going to go with Hardy. Although I would like to know why he missed weight. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if there was an injury of some sort there. Thanks a lot, everybody, for watching. Look for my recap. It'll be out in a couple of days. Props to Zuffa for for putting this card on. Props to Golden Glory for admitting you were wrong. Get Alistair Overeem in the UFC. We all need it. Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Looking forward to my next video. Leave some comments and feedback. Buddhasport.com. That's the website. Follow me on Twitter, Buddhasport MMA. See you guys later. Thank you.